Country music icon Dolly Parton once famously said, "If you want the rainbow, you've got to put up with the rain." Sometimes that can be hard, especially if you're unable to communicate any kind of anxiety or depressing thoughts you may have. Ladies, what do you do to get out of a funk?
Well, my 20-month-old daughter has almost driven me to insanity. Layla. I love her to death, but yeah, I never realised, obviously it's cliche, how hard motherhood is until you're in it. And she's 20 months old and she is tantrum heavy like no one's business.
She hasn't even hit terrible twos?
No, she hasn't even hit. She hit terrible twos the moment she came out. Yeah, she looks like she's 8. No, but... So,
she's been here before.
Yeah, she has. She has a New York attitude from her dad, and well, no, actually, that's me too. But no, she's driving me crazy. It's been a very tough period. The weather's been very hot. Babies do not do well in the hot weather. We're not getting any sleep. I am literally at the end of my rope. You know, my mother, my husband, everyone's like, "You need a break. You need to just take." And I don't take breaks. I don't know how to take breaks. I can't nap when she naps. They say you should do it. I'm always trying to wash something or clean or work on this show or do something. So I guess to snap me out of that funk where I feel like I'm going to lose it, I just take a step back and I actually listen to my body, but I more listen to my loved ones. And as much as I make out I don't listen to them, I really do. So you've got to keep loved ones around you at all times because we don't recognise it within ourselves. We're our worst enemies. And you've got to keep loved ones around you to snap out of it. You're about to lose it and to really check you sometimes. So that's my personal experience.
And when you don't have people around you and you need to do it for yourself, it's, I use 2 things. The first one is the cancel it method. When I'm having a thought that is so spinning me out of control, I literally go, cancel that, and I do a strike in the air. Because it's all well and great to keep it in your head, but you have to physically and physiologically change your neural pathway in your brain. So it's a slash, cancel that.
As in, like you're
say
walking,
something
you get a bad
negative.
thought, and you're literally...
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm bad at this. I can't sing. Yeah. Cancel that, I can sing. I'm shit in relationships. Cancel that.
Like you reset.
Yeah, you physically have to change that neural pathway in your brain. Otherwise, nothing in your mindset changes.
So if we ever see you just go bang.
Then you just had a bad thought.
Canceling.
Cancel it.
She's like, bitch, I'm the best.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
the best. I'll be doing the most.
Yeah.
Positive,
Number
positive.
2 is telling yourself that it's okay not to be okay. It is still livid in our society that it's not. And I will share, I suffer from anxiety and depression. And I believe that if I didn't take the step forward of acknowledging and saying it's okay to be medicated, and I am medicated. My name is Genevieve and I take antidepressants.
Own it, sis.
And even in our generation, I still felt ashamed. Everyone judged me and that no one would accept me because there's something wrong with me. That is something that we really need to systemically change in our society because we don't look at someone who's got a broken foot and say, well, you'll be fine. You'll be right, mate. Get up. You'll be right. But anxiety and depression has suddenly fallen into this category of, oh, you're just whinging. I'll get over it, you whiny bitch, kind of thing. And
especially in different communities.
And culturally, from our cultures, it's not something till this day. So many Asian countries do not acknowledge it as an actual disease.
I won't go to therapy because I am so schooled by my culture to just shut up and get on with it. You know, as like the Lebanese culture is, you got to be tough. Your mother had 18 million kids. You've only got one. Just get up and go.
Comparison thing.
Just go. And it is toxic. It's hard.
Your ancestors have enjoyed so much, so why are you complaining? And it affects women of color and people of color. And I thought about this question, and humor has been the backbone of Black culture, where we have gone through so many traumas, but to be able to go, that happened, and crack jokes watch comedy. That's why I think there's so many successful black comedians. Is because, you know what? You would be dead dying from your trauma if you let everything affect you. And that's the resilience of black people and black culture, is that we can turn something into a positive. And not to say that it's not okay to suffer anxiety and depression, which I have in the past. And it got to a point where I had to address that and be open to say, like, I am suffering and there's nothing wrong with that, because in some cultures, you're airing your dirty laundry and, like you said, get up and get on with it. So it's okay to have those feelings.
So you use humor a lot to...
Girl, yes.
So many stand-up comedians.
Yeah, I ring my sister purely for comedic laughs of what's going on with the kids, what did they do this time? Like, you have to get to that point where it's like, you know what, it's a release, a natural release.
Yeah, Jen, what you said really resonated, because I have similar sentiment and do struggle as well with depression and anxiety. And for me, I think I split it into a short-term funk. I actually keep a list when I'm happy. I'll list things down that I can do to get me out of the funk, whether that's prayer, watching a mind-numbing Netflix show, going for a walk, sleeping, or just crying. Sometimes you just need a good damn cry.
100%.
But if it's a long-term funk, and that's where you really need to recognize, for me, therapy has helped. I guess I wanted to ask with you, is antidepressants a short-term solution for you, or long-term, do you plan to get off?
Well, that's something I've discussed with my therapist, because now that I'm stabilized on it, I'm able to healthily build tools. Because when you're in a funk, nothing's gonna get you out. It is a pine forest and you are covered in darkness. When you're in darkness, you do not have the mental strength, the physical strength to actually build tools. In your mind, you have a little toolbox. I call it my treasure chest. And you go there when you're in tough situations, when you are having an argument with a parent, when you are in a difficult political situation at work. You need to draw upon that treasure chest to go, okay, which tool am I gonna use to emotionally regulate and have a really healthy mindset? Without having that stable serotonin in your body, you actually can't function. And we all have levels when we dip into a really dark part of our lives, and we need a tool set. And when you are mentally stable, and I'm building my tool set, at some point I will be able to do it on my own. Because the chemicals are disbalanced, and it happens. Happens to all of us.
Well, I think we've listed enough suggestions for people to try, and obviously it's an up and down thing. So we're all gonna get in a funk, and hopefully we can lessen them as we learn, like you said, what our triggers are and learn how to deal with them.
And take your own advice. Take a break.
What she said.
You want to babysit? Okay.
So get some babysitters, get your toolkit. You know, put laughter in there.
Slash it out.
Slash it out, self-talk, therapist, and medication. Don't be afraid to embrace that, because there's a lot of stigma behind it, but just create the toolkit for you. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.